morning, all you quarantines, and happy Friday. Check it out. I'm somewhere else. Isn't this amazing? I know, I am back in the library. I am in the teen room, which is the room for you. And this is a way cooler backdrop than a blank wall. I think it's way better to have a shelf full of books behind you when you're talking about books than just a blank wall. So this is way better. I hope you are all doing very well today. I hope you've been having a good week so far. I know that whenever we are open back up here in the library, we cannot wait to see your shining faces. So I was doing a lot of thinking, and I was thinking about the books that were really, really formative to me when I was a teenager. And, considering the climate of things nowadays and we're all gotten very introspective, I think, I wanted to talk a little bit about a book that many of you have probably read, and it's nonfiction. So this is kind of a little bit of a departure from what I usually do, because I usually do YA novels and fiction books. But I wanted to talk today about a book that really helped to mold me when I was a teenager, and a book that still means a whole lot to me today, and is probably to me one of the most important books to ever have been written. And interestingly enough, it wasn't even intended to be published. It wasn't intended to be a book that was published. And the book that I'm talking about is The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank, also known as The Diary of Anne Frank. This was, if you don't know the background of it, I'll just give you a brief synopsis. It was written by Anne Frank when she was, starting a little bit before she and her family had to go into hiding during World War II in Amsterdam. But it's written between June 1942 and August 1944. She was in hiding because she was Jewish during World War II in Amsterdam with her family, her mother, her father, her sister Margot, another family, which consisted of 3 people, and then another gentleman, for 2 years. They were all in hiding together from the Nazis during the Holocaust. And it's just one of those books that I feel is, if you're a teenager, I think it's going to speak to you. Even if you're not a teenager, it's going to speak to you. It's interesting to watch the change in her thinking and in her maturing through those 2 years. You see her thinking as a 13-year-old in the beginning to, an almost 16-year-old at the end. And we are living in weird times right now. I think we can all admit that. We are admitting in very weird times. I'm going to turn Siri off because she doesn't need to be talking to me. And I think it is important to look back on things that have happened in the past and learn from the people who have written things like diaries and journals, and to see what their daily lives were like. And this is one of those books that is just incredibly important. As you may know, Anne and her family, except for her father, everyone in that apartment over her father's business in Amsterdam, everyone except for her father, they were murdered at concentration camps during the Holocaust. And her father was the only one who survived. And he was given this by one of the people who helped to hide them. They took it and kept it safe after they were taken away. And she gave it to him after the Holocaust and after World War II was over, and he came back to Amsterdam. And he wanted to publish this, her father Otto. So he did. And it has been made into a famous play, which I was very lucky to be able to take part of a couple years ago. I played Margot, Anne's older sister. It's been made into a movie. It's made into a wonderful BBC miniseries. And I think this is one of the most important books to be out there. It's been published in over 60 languages, and it, to this day, remains a real testament to strength and optimism and courage and just how teenagers can deal with really difficult situations. And there's no denying that the situation right now is kind of difficult. And so I think if you need something to read and you have never read this before, what are you waiting for? Pick this up. It is, like I've said multiple times in this video, probably one of the most important pieces of literature, of diary writing, of journal writing that has ever been published, ever. So, I don't know, what do you think? You think that's a pretty good idea? I think you should read it. I think it's something everyone should read. And if you have read this, let me know what you think of it. Comment on this video, like this video. And there was something that Anne said in her diary that is probably one of the most famous quotes it was the most famous quote to come out of the diary. And it's, she said, "In spite of everything, I believe that people are truly good at heart." And that's the truth. And I'm just going to leave you with that. So we have copies of this book. Come check it out. Place it on hold, and we will bring it to you curbside. But stay safe. Be kind to one another. Stay optimistic. Remember that people really are truly good at heart. And I'll see you next time right here on TGIF. It's good to see you guys.